Hey guys, welcome to Pokemon. So in today's video we are gonna see, what if Asta gets teleported to Pokemon World? Pokemon X Black Clover. Before starting, please make sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you are interested in Pokemon fanfictions. Now without wasting any more time, let's dive in. Asta was exhausted. The battle against the Eye of the Midnight Sun had been grueling, pushing his limits as a magic knight of the Clover Kingdom. Yuno and the others were recuperating, but Asta couldn't shake off the feeling that something was amiss. The aftermath of the battle left him with a sense of restlessness, a nagging need to prove himself even more. He wandered the halls of the Clover Kingdom's castle, armor clanking softly with each step. The familiar faces of the castle guards greeted him warmly, but Asta sensed their concern. They knew he was driven by a relentless determination to protect the kingdom, but they also worried about his well-being. As Asta reached the castle's balcony, he gazed out over the vast landscape of the Clover Kingdom. The rolling hills and lush forests stretched out before him, a reminder of the beauty and tranquility he fought to defend. But tonight, even the peaceful scenery couldn't calm his restless spirit. "I need to train," Asta muttered to himself, clenching his fists. "I need to get stronger." With that resolve burning in his heart, Asta made his way to the castle's training grounds. The moon hung low in the sky, casting a silvery glow over the courtyard where magic knights of various ranks honed their skills. Asta found a secluded spot, away from the bustle of training partners and sparring matches. Drawing his anti-magic sword, Asta began his training regimen. His movements were swift and precise, each swing of his sword a testament to his determination. He practiced his defensive spells, deflecting imaginary attacks with expert precision. Every muscle in his body strained with effort, pushing himself beyond his limits. Hours passed in a blur as Asta lost himself in his training. Sweat trickled down his forehead, mingling with the grime of battle that still clung to his armor. Yet, despite his exhaustion, Asta refused to yield. He had to be ready for whatever threat loomed on the horizon, for the enemies that lurked in the shadows. Just as Asta was about to unleash another series of strikes, a sudden disturbance in the air caught his attention. A faint, pulsating energy surrounded him, tingling against his skin like static electricity. Asta's senses went on high alert, instinctively reaching for his sword as he scanned his surroundings. Before he could react, the magical energy intensified, swirling around him in a cyclone of light and power. Asta's eyes widened in surprise and alarm, feeling himself being pulled into the vortex against his will. His grip on his sword tightened, the familiar weight grounding him as the world around him blurred into chaos. The sensation was disorienting, like being caught in a whirlwind of conflicting currents. Asta gritted his teeth, trying to maintain his focus amidst the overwhelming surge of magic. The wind howled in his ears, and for a brief moment, he feared he might be lost forever in this mystical storm. Then, as abruptly as it had begun, the whirlwind of magic subsided. Asta staggered forward, stumbling as he tried to regain his balance on solid ground. He blinked, disoriented and bewildered by his surroundings. Gone were the familiar sights and sounds of the Clover Kingdom. Instead, Asta found himself standing in a vast expanse of lush greenery, under a canopy of towering trees that stretched endlessly into the horizon. The air was filled with the scent of earth and vegetation, a stark contrast to the metallic tang of magic he was accustomed to. "What? Where am I?" Asta muttered, his voice echoing softly in the tranquil surroundings. He glanced down at his hands, still gripping his anti-magic sword tightly. It reassured him, grounding him in this strange and unfamiliar world. Asta took a cautious step forward, eyes scanning the landscape for any signs of life. His senses were on high alert, every instinct honed from years of battle urging him to remain vigilant. He couldn't afford to let his guard down, not when he was so far from home and everything he knew. As Asta ventured deeper into the forest, he became aware of movement in the foliage ahead. His hand instinctively went to his sword, ready to defend himself against whatever threat might emerge. But to his surprise, the figure that stepped into view was not an enemy, but a young boy with messy black hair and a bright red cap. The boy froze in his tracks, wide-eyed as he took in Asta's armored form and the imposing presence of his anti-magic sword. Asta studied the boy cautiously, noting the determined gleam in his eyes despite his apparent surprise. "Who are you?" the boy asked, his voice steady despite the tension in the air. He took a cautious step forward, curiosity overriding any fear he might have felt. "I am Asta," Asta replied, his voice firm and resolute. "A magic knight of the Clover Kingdom. And you?" The boy smiled, a mischievous spark dancing in his eyes. "I'm Ash Ketchum," he said proudly, puffing out his chest slightly. "And this is my partner, Pikachu." Asta glanced down at the small yellow creature perched on Ash's shoulder, its cheeks crackling with electricity. He couldn't help but feel a sense of camaraderie with the boy and his unusual companion. "Pikachu," Asta murmured, his gaze softening slightly. He had seen many strange and powerful creatures in his time as a magic knight, but none quite like the small Pokémon before him. "What brings you to this forest, Asta?" Ash asked, genuine curiosity shining in his eyes. He gestured toward the path ahead, inviting Asta to join him on his journey. I'm not sure," Asta admitted reluctantly. "I was training in my world when something happened, and now I'm here." Ash nodded understandingly, his expression thoughtful. "Well, you're welcome to travel with me and Pikachu. We're on a journey to become Pokémon Masters and to stop Team Rocket, an evil organization that uses Pokémon for their own selfish gains." Asta frowned, his senses tingling with the mention of a threat to innocent creatures. "Team Rocket," he repeated, testing the name on his tongue. "If they harm Pokémon, then I will help you stop them." Ash smiled gratefully, extending a hand toward Asta in friendship. "Then it's settled. Welcome to the Pokémon world, Asta. Together, we'll face whatever challenges come our way." Asta hesitated for only a moment before clasping Ash's hand firmly in his own. The bond of friendship and the shared resolve to protect the innocent forged a connection between them, bridging the gap between their worlds. And so, Asta embarked on a new journey alongside Ash and Pikachu, his heart burning with a renewed sense of purpose. Little did he know, this unexpected arrival in the Pokémon world would lead him on an adventure beyond anything he had ever imagined. Together, they would face battles, make new friends, and confront powerful adversaries. But through it all, Asta would discover that courage and determination knew no bounds, transcending the boundaries of worlds and uniting hearts in a shared quest for justice and friendship. Asta stood amidst the tranquil beauty of the Pokémon world, a stark contrast to the magical intensity of the Clover Kingdom. The forest around him teemed with life, vibrant Pokémon darting through the underbrush and soaring through the clear blue sky above. It was a world unlike any Asta had ever known, yet he found a strange sense of familiarity in the determination and spirit of his new companions, Ash and Pikachu. As they ventured deeper into the forest, guided by Ash's knowledge of the region and Pikachu's keen senses, Asta couldn't shake off the feeling of being watched. His instincts as a magic knight were on high alert, every rustle of leaves and distant call of Pokémon prompting him to scan their surroundings for any potential threats. "So, Asta," Ash began conversationally as they walked, Pikachu darting ahead to investigate a nearby bush, "you said you're a magic knight from the Clover Kingdom. What's that like?" Asta glanced at Ash, noting the genuine curiosity in his eyes. He considered how best to explain his world to someone who had likely never encountered magic in the same way. "Well," Asta started, his voice thoughtful, "the Clover Kingdom is a place where magic is a part of everyday life. Everyone is born with the ability to wield magic, and it determines your status and role in society." Ash nodded attentively, absorbing Asta's words. "That sounds fascinating. What kind of magic do you use?" "I use anti-magic," Asta replied, gesturing to the anti-magic sword strapped to his side. "It nullifies and dispels magic, making it effective against spellcasters and magical creatures." "Wow, that's amazing," Ash exclaimed, his eyes widening in admiration. "I bet that comes in handy during battles." Asta chuckled softly, a rare moment of levity amidst their serious conversation. "It does, but I rely on my physical strength and training as well. Magic or no magic, I will always find a way to protect those who can't protect themselves." Ash smiled warmly at Asta's declaration, a shared determination shining in his eyes. "That's exactly how I feel about Pokémon. They're my friends and partners, and I'll do whatever it takes to keep them safe." Their conversation was interrupted by Pikachu's excited chirp, drawing their attention to a clearing ahead. Asta and Ash approached cautiously, ready for whatever they might find. To their surprise, they stumbled upon a lively Pokémon battle between a young girl with fiery red hair and a trio of mischievous Pokémon. "All right, Vulpix, use Flamethrower," the girl commanded with a determined grin. Asta watched in awe as the Vulpix unleashed a torrent of flames, swirling and dancing with fiery intensity. The opposing Pokémon, a trio of playful Pidgey, fluttered in the air, trying to dodge the fiery onslaught with nimble maneuvers. "Wow, that's impressive," Asta remarked, his eyes fixed on the intense battle unfolding before him. Ash nodded enthusiastically. "Yeah, Pokémon battles are a big part of life here. Trainers like Lily train their Pokémon to be strong and develop special bonds with them." As the battle reached its climax, Vulpix's flamethrower proved too much for the Pidgey trio to handle. With a final burst of fiery energy, the Pidgey were knocked out, leaving Lily and her Vulpix victorious. "That was amazing, Lily," Ash cheered, clapping his hands enthusiastically. Lily beamed with pride, returning Vulpix to its Pokeball with a grateful smile. "Thanks, Ash, and who's your friend?" Ash turned to Asta, gesturing towards him. "This is Asta. He's from another world called the Clover Kingdom. Asta, meet Lily." Asta offered a polite nod, inwardly impressed by Lily's calm demeanor and the bond she shared with her Pokémon. "It's nice to meet you, Lily." Lily's eyes widened with curiosity as she studied Asta's anti-magic sword. "Wow, that's a unique weapon. What does it do?" "It nullifies magic," Asta explained briefly, unsheathing the sword slightly to demonstrate its plain, yet effective design. Lily nodded in understanding, her fascination evident. "That must be incredibly useful in battles. I've never seen anything like it." Their conversation was interrupted by a distant rumbling sound, followed by the rustling of leaves in the trees above. Asta tensed, his senses on high alert once more as he scanned the forest for any signs of danger. "What's that?" Lily asked, her voice tinged with concern. Before Asta could respond, a group of Pokémon burst through the foliage above them, their expressions frantic and alarmed. Leading the pack was a Rattata, its fur bristling with fear as it scurried towards them. "Ash! Lily!" A familiar voice called out, followed by the arrival of Misty and Brock, who emerged from the trees with concerned expressions. "Misty! Brock!" Ash exclaimed in surprise, greeting his friends warmly. "What's going on?" Misty's blue eyes narrowed with worry as she scanned the area. "It's Team Rocket. They've been causing trouble again, capturing Pokémon and causing chaos." Brock nodded in agreement, his strong features set in a determined expression. "We've been tracking them through the forest, trying to put a stop to their schemes." Asta's grip on his anti-magic sword tightened, his resolve hardening. "Team Rocket," he muttered, recalling Ash's earlier explanation of the organization's nefarious deeds. "If they harm Pokémon, then we must stop them." Ash nodded in agreement, his expression serious. "Absolutely. Pikachu and I won't let them get away with this." Lily glanced between Asta, Ash, and their determined friends, her own resolve strengthening. "Count me in too. Vulpix and I won't stand by while Pokémon are in danger." Misty and Brock exchanged nods of approval, recognizing the shared determination and strength in their newfound allies. Together, they formed an unlikely but formidable team, united in their mission to protect the Pokémon of the forest from Team Rocket's greed and cruelty. With Asta's anti-magic abilities, Ash's unwavering spirit, Pikachu's electrifying power, Lily's bond with Vulpix, Misty's water Pokémon expertise, and Brock's rock-solid resolve, they set out deeper into the clearing crackled with tension as Team Rocket's operatives sprang into action, their Pokémon emerging from the shadows with malicious intent. Asta's eyes narrowed as he assessed their opponents. A trio of grunts with menacing looks and Pokémon that exuded a mix of arrogance and cruelty. "Stay focused, everyone," Ash called out, his voice steady despite the adrenaline coursing through his veins. "We can't let Team Rocket harm any more Pokémon." Pikachu nodded resolutely, sparks dancing across its cheeks in anticipation of battle. Beside him, Lily stood with Vulpix by her side, the Pokémon emitting a low growl of determination. Misty and Brock flanked Ash, their water and rock Pokémon ready for action. Asta took a deep breath, the weight of his anti-magic sword reassuring against his side. He had faced formidable opponents in his world, but the Pokémon and battling style of this world were entirely new challenges. Nevertheless, his resolve remained unshaken as he readied himself for the coming conflict. "Let's do this," Asta murmured, his voice a quiet affirmation of their shared goal. The battle erupted with explosive intensity as Pokémon clashed in a flurry of elemental attacks and strategic maneuvers. Pikachu darted forward, unleashing a powerful thunderbolt that crackled through the air, striking true against one of Team Rocket's Pokémon. Asta moved with swift precision, his anti-magic sword slicing through the air as he nullified incoming spells and disrupted the Grunt's attempts at deploying underhanded tactics. His movements were fluid yet controlled, a testament to years of rigorous training and battle experience. Misty's Starmie unleashed a torrent of water gun, creating a protective barrier that shielded Ash and his Pokémon from a barrage of attacks. Brock's Onix, towering and formidable, lashed out with powerful rock throws that kept Team Rocket on the defensive. Lily and Vulpix fought with grace and finesse, their synchronized movements a testament to their bond. Vulpix's flamethrower blazed bright against the dimming light of the setting sun, driving Team Rocket's Pokémon back with sheer force and determination. The battle raged on, each side refusing to yield ground. Team Rocket's Grunts, fueled by their leader's commands and the promise of reward, fought with ruthless determination. But Asta and his newfound allies were equally resolute, their hearts set on protecting the Pokémon of the forest from harm. In the midst of the chaos, Asta spotted an opportunity. With a decisive leap, he closed the distance between himself and one of Team Rocket's Grunts. His anti-magic sword flashed with blinding speed as it intercepted a volley of dark energy spells, dispersing them harmlessly into the air. The Grunt staggered back, surprise and frustration etched on his face. Before he could recover, Asta pressed his advantage, launching a series of swift strikes that disarmed the Grunt and rendered him unable to continue the battle. With a swift kick, Asta sent the Grunt sprawling to the ground, where he lay defeated and subdued. Asta's victory was short-lived as he turned to see Ash and Pikachu locked in a fierce battle against Team Rocket's commanding officer, Jessie, and her formidable Pokémon partner, Arbok. The serpent Pokémon coiled and struck with deadly precision, its poison sting attacks laced with potent venom that threatened to overwhelm Pikachu. "Pikachu, dodge and use Iron Tail," Ash commanded, his voice a mix of determination and concern. Pikachu responded with lightning-fast reflexes, evading Arbok's poison sting with nimble leaps and rolls. Gathering electricity in its tail, Pikachu struck true with Iron Tail, the metallic appendage glowing with intense energy as it collided with Arbok's body. Jessie gritted her teeth, her eyes narrowing with determination. "Arbok, use Poison Jab." Arbok surged forward with renewed aggression, venom dripping from its fangs as it lunged towards Pikachu. Asta's heart raced with urgency as he moved to intercept, his anti-magic sword poised to deflect Arbok's attack. But before he could intervene, a sudden burst of water erupted from Misty's Starmie, dousing Arbok and Jessie with a powerful hydro pump. The force of the water attack sent Arbok crashing to the ground, incapacitated and unable to continue the battle. "Great job, Starmie," Misty praised, her voice ringing with pride. Jessie scowled, recalling Arbok into its Pokeball with a frustrated huff. "This isn't over," she growled, shooting a glare at Asta and his allies before retreating with her remaining Grunts in tow. The clearing fell silent in the aftermath of the battle, save for the gentle rustling of leaves and the soft chirping of Pokémon in the distance. Asta exhaled slowly, his body still thrumming with adrenaline from the intense conflict. "We did it," Ash said, his voice filled with relief and pride as he surveyed their surroundings. Asta nodded in agreement, a sense of satisfaction settling over him. Team Rocket won't be causing any more trouble here. Lily approached Asta with a grateful smile, Vulpix at her side. "Thank you, Asta. Your anti-magic sword was incredible in battle." Asta grinned warmly, touched by Lily's words. "You and Vulpix were amazing too. Your bond is truly impressive." Misty and Brock joined them, their expressions reflecting a mix of exhaustion and accomplishment. "Nice work, everyone," Brock praised, his voice steady and reassuring. "We made a great team." As dusk settled over the forest, casting long shadows beneath the canopy of trees, Asta felt a sense of camaraderie unlike any he had experienced before. Despite the differences in their backgrounds and abilities, he had found allies in Ash, Pikachu, Lily, Misty, and Brock. Individuals whose hearts burned with a shared desire to protect the Pokémon world and its inhabitants. Together, they stood united against any threat that dared to endanger the peace and harmony of this vibrant world. With their strength, courage, and unwavering determination, Asta knew that they would face whatever challenges lay ahead, forging bonds of friendship that transcended the boundaries of their respective worlds. And as they continued their journey through the Pokemon world, Asta couldn't help but feel a renewed sense of purpose. This unexpected adventure had brought him not only new allies but also a deeper understanding of the power of friendship and the importance of standing up for what was right. With the stars twinkling overhead and the gentle rustling of leaves in the breeze, Asta knew that their journey was far from over. But as long as he had friends by his side and a cause worth fighting for, he was ready to face whatever trials awaited them on the path ahead. The journey through the Pokemon world continued for Asta and his newfound companions, Ash, Pikachu, Lily, Misty, and Brock. After their successful battle against Team Rocket in the forest, they traveled together, their spirits high with camaraderie and determination. Each step brought them closer to their ultimate goal: stopping Giovanni and thwarting Team Rocket's sinister plans. As they walked along the winding paths and through quaint towns of the Kanto region, Asta marveled at the diversity of Pokemon and the vibrant culture that surrounded them. From bustling Pokemon centers to serene forests and majestic mountains, every corner of this world seemed alive with adventure and possibility. Asta, have you ever seen Pokemon battles before? Ash asked, breaking the peaceful silence of their journey. Asta shook his head, his eyes thoughtful. No, this world is entirely new to me. Back in the Clover Kingdom, battles are fought with magic and swords, not with creatures like Pokemon. Ash nodded understandingly, a smile playing on his lips. Well, you're in for a treat. Pokemon battles are a big part of life here. Trainers like me travel the world to challenge others, strengthen our Pokemon, and learn from each other. Pikachu chirped in agreement, its ears twitching with excitement at the mention of battles. Asta couldn't help but admire the bond between Ash and Pikachu. It was clear they shared a deep connection forged through countless battles and adventures. Are battles in your world similar to Pokemon battles? Lily asked, her curiosity piqued. Asta considered her question carefully before responding. In some ways, yes. We train rigorously to improve our combat skills and protect our kingdom from magical threats. But the concept of forming partnerships with creatures like Pokemon is entirely new to me. Misty, who had been quietly observing the conversation, chimed in with a smile. That's what makes the Pokemon world so special. It's a place where humans and Pokemon work together, learn from each other, and form unbreakable bonds. Brock nodded in agreement, his expression thoughtful. And those bonds are what make us strong. Trainers and Pokemon supporting each other through thick and thin. It's a powerful connection. Their journey brought them to Viridian City, a bustling metropolis nestled at the foot of Viridian Forest. The city bustled with activity, trainers and Pokemon alike milling about the streets, visiting the Pokemon Center, and preparing for battles at the Viridian City Gym. This is it, Ash said, his voice tinged with determination as he gazed up at the imposing structure of the Viridian City Gym. Giovanni, the leader of Team Rocket, is rumored to be here. We have to stop him before he can carry out his plans. Asta's grip tightened on his anti-magic sword, a steely resolve settling over him. We won't let him harm any more Pokemon, he declared, his voice firm with determination. With their goal clear in mind, Asta and his companions entered the Viridian City Gym, their hearts beating with anticipation. The gym was a vast arena, its walls adorned with banners depicting powerful Pokemon and legendary battles. Trainers sparred in practice matches, their Pokemon displaying an impressive array of moves and strategies. At the heart of the gym stood Giovanni, a formidable figure with an aura of authority and power. He was flanked by his loyal grunts, their expressions cold and unwavering as they surveyed the challengers who dared to face their leader. Ash Ketchum, Giovanni greeted with a smirk, his voice dripping with arrogance. I see you've brought some new faces with you. And who might this be? He turned his piercing gaze towards Asta, assessing him with a mixture of curiosity and disdain. I am Asta, a magic knight of the Clover Kingdom, Asta replied, meeting Giovanni's gaze head-on. And I'm here to put an end to Team Rocket's schemes. Giovanni chuckled darkly, his eyes narrowing with amusement. Bold words for someone who just arrived in our world. Let's see if you can back them up. With a wave of his hand, Giovanni signaled his grunts to prepare for battle. Ash and Pikachu stepped forward, their determination clear as they prepared to face Giovanni and his powerful Pokemon. Lily, Misty, and Brock positioned themselves strategically, ready to provide support and assistance when needed. Asta stood at Ash's side, his anti-magic sword at the ready. He knew his skills as a magic knight would be put to the test in this unfamiliar battlefield, but he was determined to protect his new friends and put a stop to Giovanni's sinister plans. The battle began with explosive intensity as Ash and Pikachu faced off against Giovanni's first Pokémon, a formidable Rhyhorn with thick armor and powerful physical attacks. Pikachu darted forward with agility, evading Rhyhorn's charging attacks and retaliating with a quick thunderbolt that crackled through the air. Asta watched closely, analyzing the flow of battle and the strategies employed by both trainers. He observed Giovanni's commanding presence and calculated moves, each action designed to maximize Rhyhorn's strength and exploit Pikachu's vulnerabilities. As the battle raged on, Asta sensed an opportunity to intervene. With precise timing, he leapt forward, his anti-magic sword poised to disrupt Giovanni's next command. The blade shimmered with anti-magic energy as Asta swung it in a wide arc, nullifying the dark aura that surrounded Rhyhorn and momentarily stunning the Pokémon. Ash seized the opening with lightning speed, commanding Pikachu to unleash a powerful thunderbolt that surged through Rhyhorn's weakened defenses. The electric attack struck true, enveloping Rhyhorn in a crackling sphere of energy that sent it crashing to the ground, defeated but not out. Giovanni's expression darkened with fury as he recalled Rhyhorn into its Pokeball. Impressive, he acknowledged grudgingly, his voice low and dangerous. But you haven't seen the full extent of Team Rocket's power. With a fierce determination burning in his eyes, Giovanni sent out his next Pokémon, a sleek and menacing Nidoking, its muscular form exuding raw power and primal aggression. The ground beneath Nidoking's feet trembled as it unleashed a deafening roar, signaling its readiness for battle. Ash and Pikachu tensed, their resolve unwavering despite the formidable opponent before them. Asta studied Nidoking carefully, noting its size and the deadly gleam in its eyes. He knew this battle would test their limits, pushing them to rely on teamwork and strategy to emerge victorious. "Pikachu, we can do this," Ash encouraged, his voice echoing with confidence. Pikachu nodded resolutely, electricity crackling across its cheeks as it prepared to face Nidoking head-on. Asta stood beside them, his anti-magic sword gleaming in the dim light of the gym. He focused his senses, ready to intercept any dark magic or underhanded tactics Giovanni might employ. The battle intensified as Pikachu darted forward with blinding speed, evading Nidoking's powerful strikes and retaliating with a series of quick attacks. Thunderbolt after thunderbolt surged from Pikachu's tiny form, each one aimed with pinpoint accuracy at Nidoking's vulnerable points. Giovanni watched with a mixture of frustration and admiration as his Pokémon struggled to keep up with Pikachu's relentless assault. Nidoking roared in defiance, its massive tail sweeping through the air in a desperate attempt to catch Pikachu off guard. Asta remained vigilant, his focus unwavering as he scanned the battlefield for any signs of Giovanni's next move. He sensed a surge of dark energy gathering around Giovanni, a telltale sign of an impending attack. Without hesitation, Asta leapt forward, his anti-magic sword raised in a defensive stance. The blade shimmered with anti-magic energy as Asta intercepted Giovanni's dark spell, dispersing it harmlessly into the air before it could reach Pikachu and Ash. "Nice save, Asta," Ash called out with a grateful smile, his eyes never leaving Pikachu and Nidoking's intense battle. Asta nodded in acknowledgement, his attention returning to the ongoing struggle between Pokémon. Pikachu's Thunderbolt attacks were relentless, wearing down Nidoking's defenses with each successive strike. The air crackled with electricity, the scent of ozone mingling with the sweat and determination of trainers and Pokémon alike. Just as Nidoking appeared to falter under Pikachu's barrage of thunderbolts, Giovanni's voice cut through the tension like a blade. "Nidoking, Earthquake." The command was swift and decisive. Nidoking slammed its powerful tail into the ground with earth-shattering force, sending shockwaves rippling through the arena. Asta's instincts screamed a warning, prompting him to act swiftly. With lightning speed, Asta darted forward, his anti-magic sword slicing through the air as he nullified the vibrations of Nidoking's earthquake. The ground beneath their feet stilled, the shockwaves dissipated by Asta's anti-magic abilities before they could reach Ash and Pikachu. "Thanks, Asta," Ash called out, his voice filled with relief. Asta nodded in response, a grim determination settling over him as he faced Giovanni and his powerful Pokémon. He knew this battle was far from over, but with teamwork and strategy, they had a chance to emerge victorious against Team Rocket's formidable leader. "Pikachu, let's finish this," Ash commanded, his voice ringing with determination. Pikachu nodded resolutely, electricity crackling across its cheeks as it prepared for its final attack. With a thunderous roar, Pikachu unleashed its most powerful move, Volt Tackle, a culmination of its electric energy and unwavering determination. The arena erupted in a blinding flash of light as Pikachu surged forward, charging towards Nidoking with blinding speed. The air crackled with intense electricity as Pikachu's Volt Tackle collided with Nidoking's massive frame, sending shockwaves rippling through the gym. The impact was fierce and undeniable, shaking the ground beneath their feet and rattling the very foundations of Giovanni's confidence. Nidoking staggered back, its formidable defenses finally breached by Pikachu's relentless assault. The powerful Pokémon roared in defiance, but its strength was waning under the relentless onslaught of Pikachu's Volt Tackle. With a final surge of electric energy, Pikachu delivered one last decisive blow that sent Nidoking crashing to the ground, defeated but not broken. Giovanni's expression darkened with fury and disbelief as he recalled Nidoking into its Pokeball. His steely facade cracked for a moment, revealing a hint of frustration that simmered beneath the surface. Asta watched Giovanni carefully, his senses alert for any signs of deception or further aggression. "You've proven yourself worthy adversaries," Giovanni admitted grudgingly, his voice laced with begrudging respect. "But don't think this is over. Team Rocket's ambitions extend far beyond this battle." Asta stepped forward, his anti-magic sword raised in a defensive stance. "We won't let you harm any more Pokémon or threaten this world," he declared firmly, his voice carrying the weight of their shared determination. Giovanni regarded Asta with a calculating gaze, his dark eyes narrowing as he assessed the young Magic Knight's resolve. "You may have won this battle," he acknowledged, "but Team Rocket will rise again. Our plans are already in motion, and you won't be able to stop us." With a sudden flurry of movement, Giovanni turned on his heel and strode from the gym, his grunts following closely behind. Asta watched their retreat with a mixture of relief and caution, knowing that Giovanni's words held a chilling truth. Team Rocket was a formidable adversary, and their ambitions posed a threat that extended far beyond Viridian City. Ash approached Asta with a relieved smile, Pikachu perched on his shoulder with a triumphant chirp. "We did it, Asta. We defeated Giovanni and protected Viridian City." Asta nodded in agreement, a sense of accomplishment settling over him. But Giovanni made it clear that Team Rocket's plans are far from over. "We need to remain vigilant." Lily, Misty, and Brock joined them, their expressions a mix of exhaustion and relief. "That was an intense battle," Misty admitted, wiping sweat from her brow. "But we showed Giovanni that we won't back down." Brock nodded in agreement, his voice filled with pride. "And we did it together. That's what makes us strong." As they stood together in the aftermath of their victory, Asta felt a deep sense of camaraderie and respect for his newfound friends. Despite their differences in background and abilities, they had come together as allies and proven themselves capable of facing even the most formidable challenges. The residents of Viridian City gathered around them, offering expressions of gratitude and relief. Trainers and Pokémon alike celebrated their victory, the air alive with cheers and applause. Asta couldn't help but smile at the sight, touched by the warmth and unity of the Pokémon world. In the days that followed, Asta and his companions remained in Viridian City, assisting with the cleanup efforts and ensuring that Giovanni's influence was fully eradicated. Together, they visited the Pokémon Center to heal their Pokémon and restock their supplies, preparing for the next leg of their journey. "We should head to Pewter City next," Brock suggested, his voice thoughtful as he consulted a map of the Kanto region. "It's known for its strong trainers and the Pewter City Gym." Ash nodded enthusiastically, his eyes shining with anticipation. "Yeah. I've heard great things about the Pewter City Gym leader, Brock. He's a rock-type Pokémon trainer like me." Brock chuckled modestly, a hint of pride in his voice. "That's right. I'm the Pewter City Gym leader, and I can't wait to show you my Pokémon." Asta studied Brock with interest, impressed by his humility and dedication to his role as a gym leader. "I look forward to seeing your Pokémon in action, Brock." With their destination set, Asta and his companions bid farewell to the residents of Viridian City and continued their journey through the Kanto region. They traveled along winding paths and through dense forests, encountering wild Pokémon and friendly trainers along the way. Each new encounter brought Asta closer to understanding the unique bond between trainers and Pokémon in this world. He marveled at the strength and resilience of his companions, each of whom possessed their own unique strengths and abilities that complemented one another in battle. As they approached Pewter City, Asta felt a renewed sense of purpose and determination. The journey had brought them closer together as allies and friends, united in their mission to protect the Pokemon world from threats like Team Rocket and Giovanni's ambitions. "We'll face whatever challenges come our way," Asta vowed silently, his grip firm on his anti-magic sword. "As long as we stand together, nothing can stop us." And so, amidst the vibrant beauty of the Pokemon world and the steadfast resolve of his companions, Asta continued his journey. A journey filled with adventure, friendship, and the promise of new discoveries that awaited them in the days and battles ahead. Asta, Ash, and their friends made their way out of Pewter City, their spirits high after the battle against Brock and the successful resolution of the legendary Pokemon's rampage. As they traveled, Asta reflected on the experiences he had gained and the bonds he had formed in the Pokemon world. The sun was setting, casting a warm, golden glow over the landscape as they walked along a winding path through the forest. Asta's thoughts were interrupted by the sound of rustling leaves and a faint, otherworldly hum. He turned to see a shimmering portal forming in the air, its edges glowing with an ethereal light. The portal was unlike anything he had seen before, its presence filling him with a mix of curiosity and unease. "Asta, what is that?" Lily asked, her voice tinged with concern as she looked at the portal. "I don't know," Asta replied, stepping closer to the portal, "but it feels familiar, somehow." As they watched, the portal grew larger and more stable, its swirling energy revealing glimpses of a world beyond. Asta's heart raced as he recognized the familiar landscapes of the Clover Kingdom, his home. The realization hit him like a thunderbolt. This was his way back. "Asta, do you think this portal leads back to your world?" Ash asked, his eyes wide with wonder. Asta nodded, his emotions a whirlwind of excitement and sadness. "Yes, I think it does. This is my chance to return home." The group fell silent, the weight of the moment settling over them. Asta turned to his friends, his eyes filled with gratitude and determination. "Thank you, all of you. I couldn't have done this without your help." Ash stepped forward, a smile on his face despite the sadness in his eyes. "We couldn't have done it without you either, Asta. You've been an incredible friend and ally." Pikachu chirped in agreement, nuzzling Asta's leg affectionately. Lily, Misty, and Brock also stepped forward, their expressions a mix of pride and sadness as they prepared to say goodbye. "You've made a real difference here, Asta," Brock said, his voice steady, "and we'll never forget you." Misty nodded, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. "Take care of yourself, Asta. And remember, you'll always have friends here in the Pokemon world." Lily stepped forward, her voice soft but filled with conviction. "Thank you for everything, Asta. You've shown us the true meaning of courage and friendship." Asta felt a lump in his throat as he looked at his friends, their words touching his heart deeply. He took a deep breath, steeling himself for the final farewell. "I'll never forget any of you. And I'll carry the lessons I've learned here with me, always." With one last nod, Asta turned and stepped into the portal, the light enveloping him as he left the Pokemon world behind. The transition was swift and seamless, the portal's energy transporting him back to the Clover Kingdom in a matter of moments. As the light faded, Asta found himself standing in a familiar clearing in the Clover Kingdom. The sights and sounds of his world surrounded him, filling him with a sense of homecoming. He took a deep breath, savoring the crisp, fresh air of the kingdom he had sworn to protect. Asta's return did not go unnoticed. Within moments, he was surrounded by his fellow Magic Knights, their faces filled with relief and joy at his sudden reappearance. Noelle, Yuno, and the other members of the Black Bulls rushed to his side, their voices overlapping in a cacophony of questions and exclamations. "Asta, where have you been? We were so worried about you. Are you all right?" Asta raised his hands, trying to calm the barrage of questions. "I'm fine, everyone. I was in another world, but I'm back now." Yuno stepped forward, his eyes filled with a mixture of relief and curiosity. "Another world? What happened, Asta?" Asta took a deep breath, preparing to recount his incredible journey. He told them about his unexpected arrival in the Pokemon world, his encounters with Ash and his friends, and their battles against Team Rocket and Giovanni. He spoke of the lessons he had learned and the bonds he had formed, his voice filled with emotion as he relived the experiences. As Asta spoke, the Magic Knights listened in awe, their expressions shifting from disbelief to admiration. Noelle's eyes sparkled with curiosity as she asked about the Pokemon and their unique abilities, while Yuno's gaze remained steady, a small smile playing at the corners of his lips. "You've been through a lot, Asta," Yuno said, his voice quiet but filled with respect. "But it sounds like you've grown stronger because of it." Asta nodded, his eyes meeting Yuno's with a sense of understanding. "Yeah, I have. And I've realized that no matter where we are, the bonds we form and the strength we find in each other are what truly matter." Noelle stepped forward, her expression softening as she looked at Asta. "We're glad to have you back, Asta. The Black Bulls wouldn't be the same without you." Asta felt a warmth spread through his chest at Noelle's words. "Thanks, Noelle. It's good to be back." With his return, Asta quickly resumed his duties as a magic knight, his experiences in the Pokemon world enriching his perspective and deepening his resolve. He threw himself into training and missions with renewed vigor, his determination to protect the Clover Kingdom stronger than ever. One evening, as the sun set over the kingdom, Asta found himself standing on a hill overlooking the Black Bull's headquarters. The sky was painted with hues of orange and pink, the tranquility of the moment a stark contrast to the adventures he had experienced in the Pokemon world. Yuno joined him, the two friends standing side by side in comfortable silence. After a while, Yuno spoke, his voice thoughtful. "Do you ever miss that world, Asta?" Asta considered the question, a smile playing at his lips as he thought of Ash, Pikachu, and the friends he had made. "Yeah, I do. But I know that they're doing fine, and they're continuing their journey just like we are." Yuno nodded, his gaze fixed on the horizon. "It's amazing how different worlds can be, yet the bonds we form are so similar." Asta's smile widened, a sense of contentment settling over him. "Exactly. And those bonds make us stronger, no matter where we are." As the days turned into weeks and then months, Asta's memories of the Pokemon world remained vivid, a cherished part of his journey that had shaped him in ways he couldn't have imagined. He often found himself sharing stories of his adventures with his friends in the Clover Kingdom, their faces lighting up with wonder and excitement at the tales of Pokemon battles and legendary creatures. One day, as Asta and his friends were gathered in the Black Bull's common room, Yami entered with a rare look of curiosity on his face. "All right, Asta. Tell us more about this Pikachu of yours. How strong was it?" Asta grinned, his eyes lighting up with enthusiasm. "Pikachu was amazing, Captain. It had this incredible move called Thunderbolt that could take down even the toughest opponents. And its bond with Ash was something truly special." The room filled with laughter and chatter as Asta recounted more stories, his friends hanging on his every word. The sense of camaraderie and shared adventure was palpable, a testament to the enduring power of the bonds they had formed. As the night wore on and the stories continued, Asta couldn't help but feel a deep sense of gratitude for the experiences he had gained and the friends he had made. The journey to the Pokemon world had been unexpected, but it had enriched his life in ways he could never have anticipated. In the months that followed, Asta's dedication to his role as a magic knight only grew stronger. He faced new challenges and enemies with unwavering resolve, his experiences in the Pokemon world serving as a source of strength and inspiration. His friends and comrades noticed the change in him, the maturity and depth that had come from his incredible journey. One evening, as Asta stood in the training grounds, honing his skills with his anti-magic sword, Noelle approached him, her expression thoughtful. "Asta, do you ever wonder if we'll see that world again?" Asta paused, lowering his sword as he considered Noelle's question. "I don't know, Noelle. But I do know that the bonds we formed and the lessons we learned will always stay with us." Noelle nodded, her eyes reflecting a similar sentiment. "You're right, and no matter what happens, we'll face it together." Asta smiled, a sense of certainty settling over him. "Exactly, together, we can overcome anything." As the sun set over the Clover Kingdom, casting a warm, golden glow over the landscape, Asta felt a deep sense of peace. His journey had taken him to incredible places and introduced him to remarkable friends, and through it all, he had discovered the true strength that came from unity and friendship. With his anti-magic sword in hand and his heart filled with determination, Asta knew that he was ready for whatever challenges lay ahead. The bonds he had formed, both in the Clover Kingdom and the Pokemon world, would guide him, and he would face the future with unwavering resolve and the spirit of a true magic knight. As the days turned into weeks, Asta's reintroduction to the Clover Kingdom was filled with a sense of renewed purpose. His comrades in the Black Bulls noticed the subtle but significant changes in him. A more profound sense of calm, a deeper appreciation for teamwork, and a new perspective on the power of bonds. One afternoon, Asta was training intensely in the Black Bull's courtyard, swinging his anti-magic sword with precision and determination. Noelle, watching him from a distance, couldn't help but be impressed by his growth. She approached him, her curiosity piqued by the stories he had shared about the Pokemon world. Asta, Noelle began, her voice thoughtful, "You've changed. I mean, you've always been strong, but now there's something different about you. What was it really like over there?" Asta paused, lowering his sword and turning to face Noelle. His expression softened as he recalled his time in the Pokemon world. "It was incredible, Noelle. The Pokemon world is so different from ours, yet in many ways, it's the same. The friendships I made there, the challenges we faced together, they taught me a lot about strength and unity." Noelle nodded, her interest deepening. "Tell me more about your friends there. You mentioned Ash and Pikachu a lot." Asta's face lit up with a smile. "Ash is an amazing trainer. He's so determined and never gives up, no matter how tough things get. And Pikachu, his partner, is just as incredible. Their bond is something special. They showed me that true strength comes from working together and trusting each other completely." As Asta spoke, Noelle could see the genuine admiration and respect he had for his friends in the Pokemon world. It was clear that his experiences had left a lasting impact on him. "I'm glad you had such a meaningful experience, Asta," Noelle said softly. "And I'm even more glad that you're back with us. We need your strength and determination now more than ever." Asta nodded, his resolve unwavering. "I promise, Noelle, I'll do everything I can to protect our world. And I know that as long as we stand together, we can face any challenge that comes our way." Their conversation was interrupted by the arrival of Yami, the Black Bull's captain. He strolled into the courtyard with his usual nonchalance, a cigarette dangling from his lips. "Hey, Asta, Noelle," Yami called out, his deep voice carrying across the courtyard. "I've got a mission for you too. Seems like there's some trouble brewing in a nearby village, and they need our help." Asta's eyes lit up with excitement at the prospect of a new mission. "We're ready, Captain." Noelle nodded in agreement, her determination matching Asta's. "We'll handle it." Yami gave them a nod of approval. "Good. Get your gear and head out. And Asta, make sure you show Noelle what you've learned from that other world of yours." With a final nod, Asta and Noelle gathered their equipment and set off for the village. The journey was swift, their familiarity with the terrain allowing them to move quickly. As they traveled, Asta shared more stories of his adventures in the Pokemon world, each tale further strengthening the bond between him and Noelle. Upon arriving at the village, they found it in a state of distress. Villagers were gathered in the town square, their faces filled with worry and fear. Asta and Noelle approached the village elder, an elderly man with a kind but anxious expression. "What's happening here?" Asta asked, his voice filled with concern. The elder sighed, his shoulders sagging with the weight of his worries. "It's a group of rogue mages. They've been terrorizing our village, demanding tribute and causing destruction. We don't have the means to defend ourselves." Asta's expression hardened with determination. "Don't worry, we'll take care of them." Noelle nodded, her voice steady and reassuring. "We won't let them harm your village any longer." The villagers watched with hope and anticipation as Asta and Noelle set off to confront the rogue mages. They followed the trail of destruction to the outskirts of the village, where they found a group of mages wreaking havoc, their magic tearing through the landscape. Asta and Noelle wasted no time in engaging the rogue mages. Asta's anti-magic sword cut through their spells with ease, his movements a blur of speed and precision. Noelle's water magic flowed with grace and power, her attacks coordinating seamlessly with Asta's. The battle was intense, the rogue mages proving to be formidable opponents. But Asta and Noelle's teamwork and determination were unmatched. Asta's experiences in the Pokemon world had taught him the value of trust and cooperation, and he applied these lessons with unwavering focus. As the last of the rogue mages fell, Asta and Noelle stood victorious, their breathing heavy but their spirits unyielding. The villagers, who had been watching from a safe distance, erupted into cheers and applause, their gratitude palpable. The village elder approached them, his eyes filled with tears of relief and gratitude. "Thank you, both of you. You've saved our village." Asta smiled, his heart swelling with pride. "It was our duty. We're glad we could help." Noelle nodded, her expression softening as she looked at the relieved villagers. Take care of each other. We'll always be here to protect you." With their mission complete, Asta and Noel returned to the Black Bull's headquarters. Their comrades greeted them with cheers and congratulations, their pride in their achievements evident. Yami, watching from a distance, couldn't help but feel a sense of pride in his squad. Asta's journey to another world had not only made him stronger but had also deepened his understanding of what it meant to be a true magic knight. As the weeks turned into months, Asta continued to grow and evolve. His experiences in the Pokemon world remained a cherished part of his journey, a source of strength and inspiration. He faced new challenges with unwavering resolve, his determination to protect the Clover Kingdom and its people never wavering. One evening, as Asta stood on a hill overlooking the kingdom, Yuno joined him, the two friends sharing a moment of quiet reflection. The sun set behind them, casting a warm, golden glow over the landscape. "You've come a long way, Asta," Yuno said, his voice filled with admiration. "Your journey to the Pokemon world changed you in ways I can't even begin to understand." Asta smiled, his eyes reflecting the depth of his experiences. "It did, Yuno. And I'm grateful for every moment of it. The bonds I formed there, the lessons I learned, they're a part of me now." Yuno nodded, his expression thoughtful. "And those bonds make you stronger. We're lucky to have you back, Asta." Asta's smile widened, a sense of certainty settling over him. "Thanks, Yuno. And no matter what happens, I know that as long as we stand together, we can face anything." As the stars began to twinkle in the night sky, Asta felt a deep sense of peace. His journey had taken him to incredible places and introduced him to remarkable friends. And through it all, he had discovered the true strength that came from unity, friendship, and unwavering determination. With his anti-magic sword in hand and his heart filled with resolve, Asta knew that he was ready for whatever challenges lay ahead. The bonds he had formed, both in the Clover Kingdom and the Pokemon world, would guide him, and he would face the future with the spirit of a true magic knight. As the night deepened, Asta and Yuno returned to the Black Bull's headquarters, their hearts filled with the promise of new adventures and the unbreakable bonds of friendship that would see them through whatever trials awaited them. The end. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Now we will see you in the next video.